You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the February 9th meeting of the Michigan City Board of Cemetery Trustees. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesstheportecounty.org.
Cemetery Trustees to order this 9th day of February 2023. Roxanne, if you have the moment, would you please call the roll?
Okay. Bernadette Demke. Here. Stephen Janis.
Here.
Marianne Nilsarek. Here. Davis Bush.
Here.
Virginia Keating.
Here.
None absent. We have a quorum.
I'm here.
Renee Bauer.
She always
You guys are
uses one
gonna have
also.
I wonder, I didn't think I was using first.
Yes, Renee's here, so we have a quorum.
Before we begin, I wanted to make an announcement. The cupcakes were brought in by Roxanne. She has been employed 40 years, is that correct?
Tuesday. Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, okay, with the cemetery,
Yes.
okay, and so we're celebrating that today.
Oh.
So we'll take time after the meeting to have a cupcake with
I
her.
have my cupcake already.
You had yours already. You didn't eat any of it though. Okay, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the January 19th meeting. Are there any corrections or questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
I second.
Okay, and then I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The next item is the financial report, starting with Horizon Bank.
Good afternoon, everyone. So we'll start at the top of the summary page with the permanent maintenance Greenwood account. The account was up 0.23% for the month and 0.23% year-to-date. The next account is the permanent maintenance Swan Lake account, and it was up 0.26% for the month and 0.26% year-to-date. And the extension fund account, it was up 0.27% for the month and 0.27% year-to-date. In the merchandise and commissions fund, there were payments to Matthews of $4,873.23 and Harris of $954. The account was up 0.3% for the month and 0.3% year-to-date. Turning to page 2 with the account details, in the permanent maintenance Greenwood account, the money market is yielding 4.55%, which is up from last month's yield of 3.92%. The mutual fund's overall yield is at 2.19%, which is up from last month's yield of 2.05%. And the overall yield in the account is 2.7%, which is up from last month's yield of 2.67%. Turning to page 3 in the permanent maintenance Swan Lake account, the mutual fund's overall yield is at 2.26%, which is up from last month's yield of 2.14%. The overall yield in the account is at 3.68%, which is up from last month's yield of 2.98%. And on page 4 in the extension fund account, the mutual fund's overall yield was at 2.24%, which is up from last month's yield of 1.94%, and the overall yield in the account is at 2.97%, which is up from last month's yield of 2.83%. And lastly, on page 5, the merchandise fund, the mutual fund's overall yield was at 2.21%, which was up from last month's yield of 2.09%. And the overall yield in the account was at 3.71%, which is up from last month's yield of 3.31%. Greg could not join us today, but I have some brief comments on the economy. The U.S. job market continues to thrive with low unemployment and increased hiring. The Fed raised interest rates by 25 basis points last week, and Jerome Powell expressed optimism for a soft landing scenario, which boosted stock prices. The soft landing, I believe, pertains to a potential recession. The S&P 500 is up nearly 8% year-to-date, while the U.S. aggregate bond index is up close to 3%. All good news. The U.S. economy is not currently in a recession, as recent data shows an increase in vehicle sales and a decrease in jobless claims. There are indications that the economy may be starting to slow, and the inflation rate has slowed over the past 3 months as well. Chairman Powell is wary of easing too soon, as this can lead to an inflation resurgence later. He indicated that interest rates would likely end up higher than what investors expected, but his outlook on inflation was seen as more optimistic, which caused stock and bond markets to rally. Powell said that the disinflationary process was underway, and he saw a path to bringing inflation down to the Fed's 2% target without significant economic decline or increase in unemployment. Yields on CDs and treasuries remain very attractive, especially in the one-year maturity range, where we are seeing rates well over 4% on one-year CDs. Finally, the market expects 2 more 25 basis point hikes in March and May, respectively. Any questions?
No questions? Okay. Then we'll move on to the internal financial report. Thank you for your report, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
The internal financial report, I just point out a couple things to you. If you look at the profit and loss for January 23rd, we had operating receipts of $22,942.06 for Greenwood, $31,217.18 for Swan Lake. That's quite good. Glad to see that. Of course, we still have our disbursements, and we were, had disbursements of $19,043.82 from Greenwood, $17,904.43 from Swan Lake. So that cut into what we did earn, but at least we're getting someplace there. It's better than what it had been. I have a question, Mark, on the operating disbursements, the $775 for small tools. I'm not nitpicking you. I just wondered what tools we bought, that's all.
Oh, we had to get a new snowblower.
You finally had to get it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Of course, we really snow, but we finally got a snowblower. It quit snowing right after we got it.
That's good.
Well, at least we're ready for next year, okay?
Yeah.
I'm glad you got it. What did we get? What did you get? Yeah.
I don't know.
How big is it?
Oh, it's a 24-inch, self-propelled, not Troy built. I bought it at Riggs,
Okay,
and it's one we had before.
okay, and where are we using it?
That one was bought for Swan Lake.
Okay, all right. And we don't need anything at Greenwood?
No, the one at Greenwood's fine, and we might try and see if we can't do something with the old one as a backup.
Okay, good. That's a good idea. Okay, having heard the financials, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Second. I'm going to call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the superintendent's reading of the bills.
Okay. AIM water treatment for the new water softener at Swan Lake, $2,795 even. AmeriGas for propane at Swan Lake's garage and office and mausoleum, $1,890.37. Co-Alliance Co-op for regular gasoline and diesel, $2,713.16. D&M had our septic pumped at Swan Lake, $390. Matthews markers and lettering, $5,401.51.
Thank you, Mark. Do I have a motion to approve the payment of the bills?
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
Now call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report. Mark, you're up.
Next time I'll have to look and see what kind of snow blower that is. Of course, we paid the bills, so the water softener has been installed. It's not as big as the last one. We didn't need it. The gentleman that came in and gave us a quote said we could get by with one, and it was put in. The water is nice and soft. It's nice and hot. You can come out there and take a bath or a shower anytime you people want to. All ready for you. Spring cleanup. So I know it's a little early to think about this, but I give everybody a little heads up here. It will start on Thursday, March 16th at Greenwood and Swan Lake, and it will last for 2 weeks. All decorations will be disposed of. We do not save anything. We pick it up. It's thrown into the hopper. Families can start redecorating on Thursday, March 30th. But for 2 weeks, we clean the cemetery, everything down to the bare bones as it is. And that's for that one. You want me to do this, or do you want me to wait on the schedules?
Is that for you? That's for the, okay, let's wait till the
Okay.
pending items list, okay? Do you have anything else?
And the last thing is, don't try to come to Greenwood or Swan Lake on February 20th. We will be off for President's Day.
Okay.
That's
Does
it.
anyone have a question or comment about what he
I have
said?
a question. Will the public be notified about the dates? You put in the paper?
Ever since I've been here, we've probably had a paper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question, Mark. Is there anything that we need, that you need us to approve?
No.
Okay,
No.
you have everything you need there. Tools, there's nothing,
There's things we're picking up slowly, a little bit at each time.
okay, will you remember at the next meeting, if there's anything you need, you
I'll
let
have
us
to bring a
know.
brand name with it.
Okay, unless it's something just, minor, if it's a little more expensive, we need to know about that. Okay, old business. We have,
Excuse me, 1 second.
okay,
Roxanne just reminded me that this will also be, the spring cleanup is also on the Greenwood webpage through the city.
Do we ever, does the radio announce?
We did that for years and nobody's ever paid any attention to it. So actually, nobody even pays attention to the paper because everybody,
Yeah.
I don't even get that paper.
Mhm.
okay. Moving on then to the pending items list, that's old business. There's 2 items that are appearing on this right now, and I'm gonna give you a couple others that I think should be on there. The first is the signs. Mark, what's
Which
going
ones?
on with the Greenwood signs?
The Greenwood signs, and just to give everybody this, I didn't take this down, by the way, this was in the garage. This is what the Greenwood signs look like. Every section has at least one, okay? We went out there and everywhere there's a red dot, they have a sign. We're gonna have to get 15 signs. I've been dealing with the Holland Supply Company. We've dealt with them for years. They're very good to us. and we can match those almost perfectly. I think there'd be almost 100%. Each sign will be $317.55, approximately $4,500 for the signs. And if I can order them, let's say by Monday, because it's going to have to be some more talking back and forth about our letter style. It'll take anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks to get back, but they said we should have them by Memorial Day.
Questions?
Can we get other quotes from another place similar to Holland, or?
I've tried other ones. Nobody can match the sign like they do. I've tried a couple other cemetery people, and they're getting them from a regular cast company.
Okay. How about like Jet Fabricators or something like that?
If that's what you want, I can take it out there and see what they can do. This
Worth a
includes,
shot to get something cheaper, don't you think?
this is all aluminum. It comes, not only does it come with this, it comes with the pole and everything. Everything's
Okay.
complete. I can run it, I can take it out there and see what they say.
What's everybody think? Just one more estimate?
Let's put it to a vote. Do you want to continue with what Mark has planned? Purchase 15 signs from Holland and authorize him to purchase them for $4,500, or do you want to get another estimate? I did a motion.
We can get another estimate, let's get it,
Okay, so that's your motion,
yes.
okay? And a second? What, Bonnie?
If we do that, can we authorize Mark to go ahead and order them, or do we have to wait another month?
It's up to the board. I mean,
If the estimate comes in lower and the quality is equal to or better than, we can authorize him to go ahead with the purchase.
And so you want to amend the motion, okay? And you would want to duplicate exactly what you have here in your motion as well.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's.
Including a pole then. The other company.
Ready to install.
Okay, I got a motion, do I need a second?
Can I second? Okay, I second.
Okay, then I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. To be clear, we're going out for a second opinion on how much these are gonna cost. If everything is in order, if it's exactly as this is, and it's satisfactory, and it's cheaper, then we're going to authorize Mark to go ahead with the order. If not, then we're going to authorize Mark to go ahead with the order from Holland.
Agreed.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure everybody knows that. The next item is the new signs around the pond. That's, we even brought that in.
Oh, good.
Yeah, look at that, now that is good. I like that.
It doesn't say no shooting swans.
We don't care about that. You're just telling anybody, fishing, swimming, or ice skating.
I
Okay?
would guess if the swans were in that pond, there wouldn't be much of that.
Of what?
Of any of that.
Anybody else swimming, fishing, or ice skating? Well, maybe ice skating.
So that's,
There during, when it's ice skating.
now the only thing that I'm questioning about this would be how you want to proceed as far as putting them up. Do you want you pick it from the street department and ask you, you pick it, or should I get a 4x4 wood that's going to be more pleasantly part of the environment type thing? And I'm not going by our other people.
I can't picture exactly where it's going, but,
Well, it'll go by the walkout area where the pond is at. It'll go right before that. It'll be under the trees, kind of a thing.
Still visible from the road.
Oh, yeah.
just my opinion is just the simplest. I mean, if it's a metal, I'm so used to seeing that type of sign, or just a metal stand. In my opinion only, I don't think we need anything more elaborate, but I don't know what anyone else thinks.
Kind of like what the stop signs are connected
Yeah,
to,
I mean-
like that.
That's fine. I mean, you're the one that told me this, but aesthetically, putting a metal pole there by the pond. I just thought if you wanted the wood 4x4, it's just gonna be a little bit more in with the rest of the area. I mean, that's entirely up to the board. That's why I brought it, and let you people decide.
Okay, explain to me what you're talking about. The 4x4, would it just be unfinished wood? Would it be painted?
It would be
red
unfinished
wood? What would it be?
4x4.
Okay, unfinished.
Mhm.
All right, so it's gonna weather.
Well, the ones we have are weather treated.
Yeah, they still weather though, they get gray over not too many years.
Okay, what's the board's pleasure?
The wood pole would actually stabilize the sign better than those metal ones because they do have a tendency to flip and move. But it sounds better with the wood.
I would say the wood is the way to go.
Okay, do I have a motion then?
I'm so moved.
Second it.
Okay, then I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The next item is the vacation parity is what I'm calling it. The city has 18 vacation days. The cemetery currently only has 16. And we wanted to take a look at that today and see what we could do about making those both equal.
You wanna take one and pass it? Sure. Please. That's ours, the cemetery from here. If you wanna do the same thing, this is the city. Take one and pass it. That's the list.
The thing, same thing that's over there.
No, different.
One's the city and the other's the cemetery.
Oh, good. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and explain? You get 4 personal days, which is,
I'm coming back at you with another piece.
Thank you.
and a birthday, so that's an extra 5, so that makes 16. That's how you come up with 16. Okay. What are you asking as far as parity? What days would you,
Well, if you were gonna grant this, I would not do a Veterans Day because the cemetery is very busy at Veterans Day with different
course.
things, so I wouldn't do Veterans Day. If it would be anything, if it was going to be, it would be Columbus Day. It's kind of a break between Labor Day and Thanksgiving. Excuse me.
so that's the second Monday in October. So that brings you up 1. We're still in need of 1 more.
I thought we were just shooting for 1, so.
Well, hey, we might as well make it equal. We got this opportunity, let's go ahead and do it. I think.
Never knew that, I thought.
How about general election day? Or is that too close to? Is there too many in the fall?
It's just, okay, let me explain something real quick. When I first came here, we had 6 days. And it's when we added days to it, and I know we shouldn't care about the funeral directors, but they do get a little because of the days that were off already. So I think you would be satisfied with the extra day, but I don't know what day right now I would even think of. No election day, because that's just, when Chuck Rowley was mayor, he took it away because he said people can vote in 2 hours or less. So I don't think that would be needed.
You don't get June 19th, Juneteenth
No.
day? How about we give them that?
We could also do an optional day at the.
They've got 4 personal days already, I
true.
hate to,
That's true, the 4 days when you have doctor's
But
visits.
that's a good point, because if we close on too many days, how's it gonna affect your business? Would it be better to give an additional,
It's almost better to just get that 1 person off per day.
that's what I would
Not the
say.
whole office and everybody closed up.
Okay,
Sure.
so that would mean a 5th personal day.
Okay.
The personal day, not in peak services days. naturally.
Exactly, we'd have to limit it to
Someone be-
times when
Yeah.
Mark could do with having one person off.
Trust me, we do
Perhaps
that now.
having only one person off at a time,
That will work.
okay? You hear what I'm saying?
You don't.
Well, this would have to, but again, this would, since you're gonna go with another personal day, what my thoughts would be, we do it quarterly right now, is take the other day as a floater day. They could take that with two of them together, or they could take it, because dividing it up equally, per quarter. So we got 4, and just give them a floater day at their, whenever they wanna do it.
And that works for you, okay?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
That'll work.
So they could, for example, take it in addition to their birthday, or one of their other days, or one of these other,
Correct.
okay?
As long as it doesn't impede any work process.
Would you prefer that we do just personal days and forget the Columbus Day? I mean, does that make
I
any sense?
wouldn't, no, I would stick with the Columbus Day, if that's okay, and just, because then you start getting personal days,
Too many.
too many.
Okay,
This is pushing it, having fun.
okay.
Yeah. Though it does work as far as our schedule goes, to have it as a personal day. Okay, then I need a motion to include Columbus Day, the second Monday of October, as a vacation day, to increase the personal days from 4 to 5, and that being to be used as a floater day quarterly.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, and do I have a
Second.
second? And I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Will that start this year?
Absolutely. Absolutely, effective immediately. Next item is the committee assignments. I understand that there was no response except for one. Is everyone satisfied with their committee assignments? I'm still gonna have to take a look at it, and I didn't bring a copy with me because we have to remove Paul. Okay. I'll tell you what, I'm going to issue this, leaving everybody where they are, but I will have to make adjustments because Paul is no longer on a committee, we don't have him as a member, so I will have to make some adjustments to that, okay? And I will not make an adjustment to anybody unless I ask them first.
Exactly, that's good.
So that's the way we'll handle that, we'll just leave that the way it is, okay? The last is you received some printouts here on the research that I did on green burial. I ask that you take a look at that in your leisure time. It's only just a couple things that I picked up. One of them is a list of the green burial sites in the state of Indiana. And if anybody wants to contact somebody there, at least you have that information. The other is, basically, it talks about cost, how much it's they normally would charge. It also talks about restrictions on the types of caskets that would be used instead of the idea of just a winding sheet. They're specifying biodegradable coffin. Okay, and then those are just things that this is gonna take, I think, a year for us to figure out. If we're gonna go with it at all, we're still gonna have a lot of work to do to decide what our restrictions would be. So, this is just a start. And if anybody's got any research they did, bring it at the next meeting. What, did you have something?
The ones that the gentleman gave us, I called Crawfordsville, I believe it was Crawfordsville. It took them 3 to 5 years going through the green burial console to finally get it all settled and to going. I called the other 3 cemeteries that were on that list, and none of them went through the green burial. They follow some of the specs that the green burial have, but they're not specifically under that perusal of the console. I talked to another cemetery in Valparaiso. They would not be interested. They don't have any desire to do it. gentlemen, there was 2 cemeteries in LaPorte. Neither one of them were interested in doing it also. I talked, most of them are, it's not a massive moneymaker for any of them. There's no liability from the insurance. We'd have to carry any other kind of liability. I talked to our insurance carrier. So there's no extra liability coverage. I had this really nice picture, and I must have left it at Greenwood or Smalley. It showed this lady in California. She got into this out in California, where I guess it's big out there. She's been doing it for 18 years, and she makes these shrouds and everything. And I forgot it. You'd have liked it. But the gentleman in LaPorte who does burials, who does the digging for a lot of the county cemeteries, smaller cemeteries. They did one 6 months ago. It was the husband. Then they put the father in, or the mother in next to it, and he said that was the most horrendous sight he'd ever seen. And you got your gentleman there, because he's in this cloth. Then they're putting the wife in, and they're digging, and it was just, he said it was horrible. So it's something to think about, not only this, but also our employees.
Well, and also in addition, we have a mission statement. I gave everybody a copy of that, and we have to, take that into consideration. We've got to do what's best for the community and for the facility. So,
Is there any way the board could solicit information from the community to see if anyone is?
No. We are charged with the responsibility to manage the cemeteries. We cannot do that. I mean, we're allowing the gentlemen that have been coming in here to give us their thoughts because they sponsor this. But absolutely not. No.
Because the mission statement says, purpose of the Board of Cemetery is to promote the advancement of knowledge and the development, operation, and maintenance of the mission.
Well, knowledge is one thing, but as far as asking them what we should do is entirely different.
Not what we should do if there's any interest. If there's absolutely no interest,
It's up to the board, but my position is that this is a board decision that needs to be made. It's a tough decision, but we have to make it. Okay, and we have to inform ourselves before we go ahead. If you want to talk to people about that, I don't know. That's up to you, but I don't think we should go out into the community.
It's an ancillary service that we may or may not approve.
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
We simply haven't reached the point even how we're going to come off on this thing. So we've got probably a year to go, I'm guessing, before we can really definitively say. And we have to do our due diligence in any way we can so that we know what we're doing when we finally make that road. That's my opinion.
The cemeteries that you talk to that allow it, is there any time frame upon the second burial?
No.
but that was a choice to be buried together, right?
When they bought them as a green burial and a regular burial. When the husband and wife bought them,
Okay.
and he wanted to be green burial. Well, then she died 6 or 8 months later, and they put her right next to him. And as they were digging it, I don't care what anybody says. You don't disappear in 6 months or 8 months. It's a long time.
Yeah.
They've had bones up at Greenwood for wrongful burials back in the 20s, and they're still.
So that would be something that if we, as we're educating ourselves, that we would, if we did it, we would not only green burials in one's, like have been described, one area for green burials and nothing. We're not
That would be a decision we would make at the
Yeah,
end.
that's what I'm
Sure.
saying, so we just were educated on that.
Yeah, we
just
just
learned
learned all of
something
those
right there.
options for us. It's premature to make a decision, to even form an opinion right now. I have no opinion right now, and I'm
No,
sure
but that was
most of you
informative,
don't.
what Mark said.
Sure, exactly. Hey, Mark, one last thing.
I have talked to people about that. And I looked at the material. That doesn't appeal to me at all. Mounds of dirt in a vacant lot don't. I'm sorry, that I'm not in favor of that at all.
Thank you, Mary Ann. The Swans did not get their annual physical this year, from what I
forgot all
understand.
about that.
You realize that? Can you believe that?
I haven't
A
had one in 20
neglectful
years.
parent.
Yeah.
I'm
If
sorry.
you got them,
I looked at them, they look pretty healthy to me.
Why did you get all the Bailey?
Okay, but they're pinned up right now, it's,
Well, whenever,
Okay.
okay? You don't have to make an appointment for him to come out. He won't be able to come out right away anyhow. So, you know, when it's at your convenience.
Swan physical.
Okay, that's all I have. Is there any new business that anyone wants to bring up? Mark, anything?
No, not right now.
Any comments the board wants to make before we adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Could I say something before you adjourn?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. My name is Sue Webster, and I've talked to Virginia about this. We've talked about it, and I wanted everybody to know up front, because I'm the department head for the LaPorte County Pioneer Cemeteries. We oversee about 30 cemeteries. And it's very interesting to me. I have just loved learning about the cemeteries. I've been the department head now for 4 years. I didn't want that to be a conflict, and I wanted everybody to know that I am, involved with the LaPorte County Pioneer Cemeteries. I didn't know if it would be we're appointed by the county commissioners, and we follow Indiana code. We make all of our reports to the county council and the county commissioners and the state historical society. And so it's different than what you all are taking care of, because our cemeteries are completely different than what yours are, but they're still all cemeteries, and the history, I love everything about being involved in that. Virginia, I believe, talked to Attorney LePage to make sure there would be no conflict with the city. The mayor still would have to appoint me in the first place, but so I just wanted to make sure you all knew where I was coming from and what my interest in cemeteries is, just because I think it's very interesting. I also work part-time for the city, but only in the summer months, and I wanted to, and that's one of the things that I wanted everybody to know, and especially the attorney, to make sure there was no conflict with that. But I'm just, all I am is a park sticker clerk. And so I work the summer months, down there at the park. And last summer, somebody asked me if I was in charge of the whole park. And I said, no, no way. I only distribute stickers.
I have a question. On the Pioneer cemeteries, are they active, or is it just ones that are done and you maintain them?
Some are both. They had to be established by 1865. And so, there won't be any others added to the list of any kind. But township trustees are actually involved with selling plots and having new burials in them. And a lot of our pioneer cemeteries are only for descendants of the people who established them. So we have, different kinds. We have, some of our pioneer cemeteries are taken care of by the church. And some of them have cemetery associations, and they take care of a lot of the things, but we oversee all of them. And then, we do the maintenance. We have caretakers that we have retained for many, many years. We have ones that have been caretakers for like 20 years, and their fathers were caretakers before they were. We have a lot of, somebody wants to take care of cemeteries that are right next to their property often.
You said 1865?
Mm-hmm.
Because Greenwood's 1863.
Well, ours has changed a couple of times from things, old paperwork that I've seen. First, the earliest date I saw was 1860, and then somebody said, oh no, it's 1865, and then somebody else said it's 1864, so.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
mentioning the dates, that's all.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to know what, And are they,
Right inside, excuse me, right inside the front gate, to the right. It's one of my relatives that was dropped in 1865. So I know at least 1865.
Well, we have burials from, the 1830s. So, anyway, but it's just very interesting to me, and so when Virginia mentioned it to me, I thought, oh, that would be, an interesting board to serve on, as long as none of my other things,
is it, just a question, did I miss it? Does the council finance the upkeep, or is that private?
The LaPorte County Council.
LaPorte.
Well, that's very interesting, but you're also involved in some other things. What about the bridges?
Oh, yes, and that's a wonderful thing, and that's one of the things that I want to find out about in Greenwood Cemetery too. I'm on the LaPorte County Bridge Naming Committee. I've named several of them here. We've only named 18 of them. We're allowed to name, and it's a county commissioners committee as well. And I found several, interesting stones in the pioneer cemeteries, and then I research them as much as I can. A lot of times there isn't a lot to be researched, but and named some. My goal is to name a bridge in every township, and we can only do one a month. And we have the county has we have about 400 bridges, but a lot of them are too small that we would name one. But my goal is to get at least one in every township. And that's very interesting, and I love doing the research of that, for that. Thank you, Sue. Appreciate you telling us that. We have a motion to adjourn on the table.
Yes.
Second.
Call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, let's cut to the chase.